All right, Super Spidey fans, my Spidey comrades, my weblings. Just got done watching Marvel Spider-Man 2017, episode 3. I believe this episode was called Osborn Academy or Osborn High, something along those lines. Osborn Academy. So this episode centers around basically um, Harry's dad, Norman, has created an alternative to Horizon High because Harry has been kicked out of the school for what they believe to be slander and what is likely not. Um, so he creates a competing private super genius school with twice as much money, uh, but with half the heart is sort of the idea with audition trials and stuff. So basically, this episode centers around two villains in this episode. Basically, the Jackal, who's not a villain I'm particularly familiar with. I think it's one of the throwaway villains. But the Jackal basically, terrorizing the city much like they always do. He's got stolen Stark Tech, I think they said it was. Stark Tech. See, the post MCU thing is so hard for me to shake, and just there's a lot of shit in this that's really, really, really ludicrous. It doesn't seem to play by any sort of sets of rules. I didn't watch the origin shorts, so maybe I'm missing like what still what PSI stands for and what his sort of ability to use the web as like a cushion, which he does a couple times in this episode, or as a method of protecting people, seems a bit excessive and too cartoony even for a cartoon. Um, but this episode centers around the Jackal terrorizing the city. He's got stolen Stark Tech, this, that, and this. We don't really know what's going on with him. At the same time, we're having a bunch of students audition for the Norman Osborn Academy. This is the first time we meet Norman Osborn, who will probably become uh, a Green Goblin. But so okay, so Spider-Man saves Gwen Stacy, who has been alluded to in the prior two episodes, but it has finally been formally introduced as blonde hair, blue eye, etc. Classic sort of intelligent beauty that we know and love from various other incarnations of the character. But as I'm going to spoiler alert, earmuffs for the next 15 seconds, if you care, is that she becomes Spider Gwen in this series, which I'm excited to see. And it's implied when so Spider-Man saves her, and then she says, you could have put people in less danger if you made a spider fan instead of a spider parachute, some bullshit like that. We also briefly meet Flash Thompson in this episode, and John Jameson, the son of J. Jonah Jameson. And then we have these two guys that sort of have created the Shocker Tech, but they're a team. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. And they Norman Osborn says, "I'm only going to accept one of you, even though you operate as a team." And he pits them against each other, and they end up fighting with their tech so much that Spider-Man has to swing in and save the day. Um, and then, I don't know. I guess I just want to skip to the end of this episode. There's three sort of denouement moments in this episode. It's falling action or whatever you want to call it. After the Jackal gets away, and that's Gwen Stacy's criticism of Spider-Man at the end of the episode is that he gets away, and you can tell Spider-Man and Peter Parker have a bit of a crush on this gal because she's intelligent and she's cute. Ooh, well, ooh, who knew that you could be both? Uh, so Spider-Man basically was like, "Oh, I used your tip with the Spider Fan this time, worked great." And then she was like, "Yeah, sure, but you still let the Jackal get away." And he's like, "Well, I got. He doesn't have the Tony Stark tech anymore." So that's that. Um, and there's some sort of implication that she knows more than whatever. And she goes home with all of her groceries to her Uncle Raymond, who is the Jackal. It turns out. Turns out Gwen Stacy's Uncle Raymond's the Jackal. So maybe that's a story arc we're gonna get through. Um, Another thing I wanted to talk about is in every episode thus far, there's been a scene where Harry Osborn and Spider-Man, or sorry, Harry Osborn and Peter Parker in particular, are sitting at a cafe, maybe having a croissant or a cookie, and they always have these different color beverages. And the last episode, there was a green color beverage, and this one it was sort of like maybe a kombucha kind of color, like a bronze yellow brown sort of beverage with ice floating on top. I don't know what these guys are drinking. I don't know what the green beverage was. Maybe it's an apple Italian soda. I don't know, but it seems odd. It seems quite odd. And these kids are not acting their age. They're this perfect blend between middle school and college. And there's no high school in there. There's no whatever. So I'm hoping we see character development just to help balance out sort of the character interactions of the show. I have little faith in this series. It's pretty whack, but I'll keep watching. Thanks for watching.